Do you ever get tired of the feeling of being unmotivated in your lawn care business? Do you struggle with the daily tasks? You lost the enthusiasm to mow, to garden, to do your admin, to deal with customers. G'day viewers, Jeff McPhee's Gardening, Melbourne, Australia. Today's video, I'm going to reflect on my 4 decades of the times when I became unmotivated. And I've got some tips that may help you newcomers, because I'm sure that most people watching us today have gone through that not being motivated. Things have gone wrong. So maybe there's a couple of tips you'll pick up from starting out and being aware of what can affect your motivation. Because the success of your business, you have to be motivated. Motivation equals success and longevity. Stay tuned. We've got to ask ourselves the why. Why did we go into business? Obvious. Our previous employment never appreciated, valued our worth, paid us poorly, worked us into the ground. We didn't have that life-work balance because we're always working. We were missing out on our family growing up. Well, that was me. No control. Whereas owning my own business, control, I can do what I want. I can have that life and work balance if I do it properly, of course. Today's video, I'm going to share with you the problems I had in motivation and how and what I did to get over it. Now, most of us would have gone through this lack of motivation. Why? What brings us to this? New people starting out, how can it be? It's so exciting running your own business. Well, things can get you down if you're not prepared. So hopefully we might be able to walk through a couple of issues. One is customers. Customers can really unmotivate you. They don't pay, they're whinging, always got complaints, and it doesn't fit your model. When we first start our business, we're out to do everything for everybody. And what happens? We get to the stage where we get burnout. We're so tired, and we're going to lack that motivation because everything's on top of us. Our admin work, we've done a big hard day's work. We get home and we've got to deal with the administration of the work. Our equipment, because we're working it so hard, it's breaking down. So we need to adjust. We need to identify these things as why we become unmotivated. Climatic conditions, of course, winter, hot, floods, droughts, all these affect our income and it makes it hard. Okay, smart Jeff, you say I'm lacking motivation. What can you offer? Well, what I did, and it worked for me. Now, look, I don't know whether it'll work for you. Everybody's different. Everybody runs their business differently. But I'll go through some key issues that help me. When I lack the motivation because of customers, the first reaction is just get rid of them. Sure, get rid of them. And you've got no work. When you're starting out, you can't afford to do that. And I see people all the time, they say, I'm not going to deal with those people. I'm just going to get rid of them. Well, if you've got no work, you've got no income, and therefore you're going to really, really struggle. And then you're really going to lose your motivation. What I did was I targeted the customers that appreciated the value of my work. I just changed things around. I limited the amount of type of work that I did. Instead of doing everything for everybody, I narrowed it down. I wanted to concentrate on garden rejuvenations because I believed that the customer that cares for their garden will want that type of work. And if they care for their garden, they're going to really value your worth. And that's what happened to me. And I found once I started building those type of customers up, I can then get rid of the bad customers. Now, if you want some motivation, the best motivation is to say to the customer you're getting rid of, oh, look, I'm sorry, we're going into a different direction now, and I really appreciate your work in the past. Thank you for your business. We'll bid you a good day. Do it nicely, do it professionally, and then move on to the customers that are going to motivate you. They're going to excite you. It's going to make it a great way that every day you're going to go to work, you're going to love it. Just a simple change. But you've got to put things into plan. You've got to market, you've got to target those areas. You've got to do, like in our day, we had to wait, because it was print media, we had to wait days if it was paper, we had to wait months if it was in a local directory. But we did it, and we changed our advertising to target that type of work. Because now you can do it instantly overnight through Facebook, through your Google business pages, through your web pages. You can change it quickly. So if you want to change the type of work you want to do, you can do that. Other things that helped me was the burnout aspect. I looked at the type of work I was doing. I was looking at the quantity of work I was doing. If I felt that I was getting to a stage where it was hurting my body, I would stop. I would reset. I would take a few days off. Yes, okay, it did affect the income. It did affect the turnover. But what it did, it allowed me to reset. It allowed me to get back to 100% again, get the mind and get the body, and away I went. Motivation is so important for the success and longevity of our business. And it's also important that physically and mentally that you're on song. And you can only do that by setting some goals in your business. Now, these goals should be small goals initially and mark out some steps to get there. I want to do some garden rejuvenations. How am I going to do that? I've got to mark it and make sure I put it into the right area that I want to target, etc., etc. Other things that motivated me was equipment, the use of equipment. Now, how good does it feel when you get a brand new mower or piece of equipment and you're excited because you're going to be using this the next day, and it really gets you going? Battery was the one for me that really got me excited. I couldn't wait when I first got battery, and it hasn't let me down. And that suited me because it was light, it was quiet. It was, the days of, the thing is that really affected my motivation was on a hot day, trying to start the line trimmer, vaporization of the fuel, and it wouldn't start. Pulling and ripping your shoulder out, and it was just, and that was a motivation breaker for me. When I went to battery, press the button, away we go. And it's funny, the other day I was mowing in our industrial site, and one of my mates is pulling away in his Shindar, and he got it going, and of course I've come along to stop for a talk, and he goes, "Oh God," he said, "it's taken me half an hour, and then you've come along to talk, so you had to turn it off." And of course away he went and tried again, and I handed him my line trimmer, my battery. I said, "Mate, just try that for a while. I'll go down and do some ride on and I'll be back." And he just couldn't believe how, what a change it was. And that motivated him. So that's another little thing. Administration. When you got home after a big day, and then you got hours of administrating work, how unmotivating is that? What I did is I got programs where I could invoice out on the field. I set up systems so that was easy. Software packages that made it easy for accountancy. Just little things like that make a difference. To make your job efficient, to make your job enjoyable, just lifts that motivation. If you can go to work every day and really enjoy it, you'll never work another day in your life. That saying has been said many times before. Ladies and gentlemen, get out there and motivate yourself. Get out there and do it. If it's to be, it is up to me. That's the philosophy you've got to have. Set yourself some goals, achievable goals, short-term and long-term goals. Set out some steps to get there, and it's amazing how you'll progress your business. Once you become motivated, once you love going to work, you'll never work another day in your life, as I said before. Just do it. But the thing is, do it in small steps. Don't try to do everything at once. When you're starting out, please, 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 set some goals, some small ones. A lot of people go, "Oh, I want to have 10 employees and turn over $1 million a year," and some of it's not achievable. Some people do it. But if you set yourself some achievable goals, it's going to make your lifestyle, and it's going to meet every expectation of why you went into business yourself. You might not be a millionaire, but you've got the lifestyle. You've got the control. You've got your family. You've got the balance between life and work. Work to live. That's what we want to do. Some people live to work. That's fine. but find something that's going to get into your niche. Target the work that you really enjoy doing. If you don't enjoy any of it, don't be in this business. Don't be in the lawn care business if you don't like it. You know, people like doing garden rejuvenations. People like doing lawn treatments, lawn renovations. Some people just like mowing and blowing, just really enjoy it. And that's fine. But find a niche that you really like doing, because if you don't, I can't help you with your motivation. You're going to have to find another occupation. But I know that you're in this game because you want to be in this game. Keep it going. I'll see you on the next video. Bye.